Twice a year, the Kansas City region of the Sports Car Club of America holds a solo school event the Saturday prior to one of its Sunday solo events. Solo racing, or perhaps better known as autocross, tests not the raw top speed of a car, but its agility and the driving precision of its driver. Cones set up in the Metropolitan Community College Performance Driving Center next to the Blue River campus in Independence, Missouri, specify a course the competitors must follow, including a variety of elements such as hairpins, carousel turns, hard 90-degree turns, and slaloms. The competitors go out one at a time, hence the name solo racing, and try to establish the fastest time through the course without knocking down any cones that define the course.
I love the smell of race day in the morning. Fantastic. All the excitement in the air, all the smells, all the cool cars.
Doug Hitchcock, longtime autocrosser and club member, chaired this second solo school of the year and was responsible for the event's coordination, conduction of its drivers' meetings, as well as providing instruction.
I think the main thing we're trying to do here today is give everybody a chance to get enough drive time to actually start to get comfortable in the car and start to get a feel for driving a car closer to its limits and finding the fun in that.
Tim Steger began solo racing earlier this year and took advantage of the spring solo school. After a summer of racing his Miata, he's back at the fall solo school to try and improve his driving even more.
This is my second race of school out here. I really like the people. It was really beneficial the last time. I learned more of what I was doing wrong as opposed to what I was doing right. My goal today really is just to try to improve how I attack the corners, how I don't upset the balance of the car, because a Miata, it's not overpowering, it's not going to blow you down the straightaways, but the corners are where you really win it, and if you screw it up on the corners, you're done. And especially, with the way it's set up, is that, if you do anything dumb, it'll make you look like an idiot really, really quickly. You'll spin sideways and be in the grass. And so my goal is to improve the time and not go farming today.
Once technical inspection has been done for all the cars, the next order of business of the day is the morning driver meeting.
No.
So you don't hit the cones. You go really fast and you don't hit the cones. That's it. We're approaching this as kind of a basic introductory course, a novice school, so to speak. I'm going to be assigning you to your instructors. We'd like you to do a course walk with your instructor this morning over the course of the next half hour. They're going to take you around and explain to you how you need to look and drive this course.
I'm Nate Green. I'm an instructor out here for KC Region Autocross Club, and we're just out here trying to help out some of the newer members of the club, trying to kind of teach them to look ahead and smooth their inputs a little bit. I think we're all out here having fun. We've got a really nice course put together by Doug Hitchcock, and we've got some excellent students who are really kind of picking up what we're putting down. And so I just hope that we can keep having fun the rest of the day and keep getting a little bit faster each time we go out.
After the drivers' meeting, the students are paired up with their instructors, and the Heat 1 students grid up to get ready to tackle the course for the very first time. This will be the first look at the course for both the drivers and the instructors from inside the cockpit. The students will really have to keep in mind the debrief they received earlier in the day during their course walk with their instructors. Walking the course and learning the course layout is absolutely critical in a solo event, where although you may meet at the same venue month after month, won't ever see the same course twice. During his first run, Tim pushes Miata a bit too far and ended up spinning in a decreasing radius sweeper.
Well, it was a little bit tail happy on that first run. I was expecting it to be that much. It was a little bit more, and that last sweeper, I probably should have hit the brakes a little earlier or not got into it. But, you know, it's the first time going for me. That's all right. Still no cones.
After feedback from his instructor about tire pressures and tire management, Tim headed back out to the track and put in a very fast, clean run. At the end of the day's event chair Doug Hitchcock summarizes some of the lessons the students should have picked up over their runs with their instructors and on their own, and the students reflect on what they have learned over the day.
So the seat time is critical, and getting seat time is really hard. I mean, you have to, if you want to be real hardcore like Mark, you got to drive everywhere. Every weekend he's on the road going to an autocross to get seat time. I think you got approximately 3 autocrosses worth of seat time today. That was that to me is seat time is what it's all about. And so the idea of just driving over and over and over again, yeah, the tires are getting hot, the pressures are getting out of control. That's not what you're here to do. You're here to drive the freaking car and learn how to do these things. So I think that the format worked. Everybody seems to they got enough runs. Does anybody feel like that, you know, if I just had 2 more runs, it would have been
Well, yeah.
Okay, I stand corrected. When are we putting in lights out here? That's right. That's right. 24 hours. Again, I would suggest if you can go home tonight, get a piece of paper and a pencil, sit down and spend a few minutes kind of just going over the high points of what you learned today, what you worked on, or what you wanted to get to happen. Write that down and keep it. I still have my notes from my first Evo school, and I look at them every once in a while. And it was a long time ago. I was working course back there. I saw a lot of this as opposed to this. You know, after you get halfway around the course, where are your hands? You got something else to think about. This is easier than this, especially in the slump.
Yeah.
We have back into autocross.
Right after.
It's training, guys. I guess we're done then. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and I'm glad everybody had fun. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, summarization. Cheap tires are still cheap tires, even if they're a little bit wider. Just working on the pressure. I got them lowered down. Actually had a disagreement with him. And we finally, by the time I was able to hold it and plant it, I had dropped them all the way down to 27, which is where I was originally. They kept making error, and then when I finally got the car settled in, that's when I got a little too excited, and I ended up facing the wrong way about 3, 4, or 5 times today. But the fun part about it is that it's like now I know the edge. I'm riding the edge. I'm having a lot more fun with it. So learned a lot on it. Still haven't tagged any cones yet, so that'll be for the next round.
How does what they learn here translate back to, say, driving home, driving on the street? Are there lessons that can be taken from the autocross track and brought onto the street to make for safer drivers?
I think anyone who is a together autocrosser has developed a talent called a talent or proclivity for situational awareness. It's something that military pilots talk about. It's a greater kind of awareness of what is going on around you when you're in your car. based on initially, I think more than anything, just the fact that autocrossers have to look so far down the course. They have to, constantly be focusing way out in front of the car. On the street, what that means is when I turn a corner and start to drive down a residential block, if a kid is playing around on the sidewalk at the other end of the street, I'll catch sight of him and I'll be aware of him before I'm even close enough to worry about hitting him. So it's kind of basic, but that's a good example.
So how can a person get involved in this? And can they come with any kind of car, or do they need a race prep car?
No. People can come out and autocross in pretty much any kind of vehicle, except for lifted trucks and things like that are not stable under lateral load, under cornering loads. In other words, we don't want stuff tipping over. But any kind of a car can be autocrossed, and we have seen big Ford Crown Victorias. We've seen, and some of them were police cars, but not all of them. And there was a car at Solo Nationals this fall. It was a Ford Thunderbird, big, huge Ford Thunderbird, running in C Prepared with all of the hot rod Mustangs and Camaros. I mean, it's the only one you're ever going to see, but there it was. Obviously sports cars and little nimble city cars are good, particularly well suited to this, but any kind of car could do it, and any kind of, a person can have fun driving any car. I think the Lance and his Monte Carlo SS is another example. That may not be the first car you think of as being a good autocross car, but the car got around the course really well, and he had a blast driving it. So what else is there to... And my other favorite non-traditional car is the rat rod pickup truck that these guys built. Most rat rods are drag-oriented cars, but this car's it's got a full coil-over suspension. It runs huge, sticky tires on all four corners and turns really respectable times. It's a 1947 Chevy pickup truck. So basically anything can be autocross. If you drive it and have fun driving it, you can probably bring it out here and be allowed to autocross it.
With the solo school over, the only thing remaining for the students is to put their lessons to the test during a real solo racing competition. For many, the following event on Sunday will be their first experience competing in earnest, while others will be looking to improve previous results and performance. Solo racing is one of the most accessible forms of motorsports, since you don't need a race prep car. All that's necessary is a passion for driving. There are solo events run all over the country, often much closer than you might expect. Visit SCCA.org and click on Find Your Region. Check out a solo event near you and get to racing.